Falcons versus the Ursuline Irish. Play is already underway. The Irish received already, and they're on their third play of this first series of theirs on offense. With me tonight, as always, is John Rourke, and I'm Kevin Powers. And we'll try to regroup here and figure out what the action's doing because we lost it there for a while. You had the video, so you know better than we do.
Yeah, Ursuline started, I think, on the 20, Kevin, and of course, Clinton Lynch, who has been doing an outstanding job of running the football for them, picked up a sizable gain, and of course, we're out around midfield now, as you can all see there on your TV sets.
Well, there's a sizable play for the Falcons. Rich Turner making a good stop there on Clinton Lynch. There's a loss of about 2 on that play.
And hopefully tonight, Kevin, we can play a little bit better defense than we did last week. You know, Clinton Lynch is an outstanding back, as Massillon had last week, and if we don't hit people, you know, with a little bit more authority than we did last week, you know, hit and wrap, we're going to have our hands full again tonight. So hopefully we do a little bit better job defensively.
The Falcons are coming off a 38-29 defeat last week against the Massillon Tigers in Massillon. Third down and about 6 for Ursuline. The rollout. And the pass is just over the fingertips of the Ursuline receiver. It's going to bring up a punting situation for the Irish. As I was saying, John, the Falcons are now 2-3, and that was a pretty tough loss for them last week. What are they going to have to do tonight? They're going to have to regroup, like you said, defensively, and this is definitely a tough Irish team. What do you think they'll have to do otherwise?
Oh, I think we didn't play that poorly defensively. We had people where we needed them, but we just didn't tackle well, Kev.
Well, there's the punt. It's taken by Chuck Wesson, and he has some open territory here. He makes a good move, and he's back to the 50-yard line. That's about a 25-yard return for Chuck Wesson, the sophomore for the Falcons. It's going to give the Falcons good field position there for their first drive of this evening.
And last week when we got good field position, Kevin, we took advantage of it. We moved the ball quite well when we got out, you know, outside the 30-yard line. It was just that first half where we ended up, you know, back deep in our own territory quite often, and you know, we had a difficult time getting anything going in the first half, but then we did turn that around in the second half because we got room to work.
Ball in Ursuline territory just across the 50-yard line. Fletcher at the quarterback for the Falcons. He's going to roll out, and he's going to keep it, and he's going to have some territory. It's 15 yards right there for Fletcher on the quarterback keep. A good play for the Falcons.
And that's something that has really helped our offense considerably, I think, Kev. The fact that, you know, we've made that personnel change there at quarterback, and Derek, as we pointed out before, might be a little bit better athlete, especially in the fact that he's a little bit quicker. And this year, for years, has been a big part of our offense, you know, that quarterback keep and rollout, and now we're starting to run that a little more effectively.
That play with the speed and quickness of Derek Fletcher takes the ball down to the Irish's 34-yard line. First down and 10. That's going to be right up the middle to Keith Motter, the Falcon fullback. He's going to get a good 4 on that play. Well, like you said, the Irish now are facing a very tough Falcon offense. In the beginning of the season, they were slow to get together, and our defense definitely was good at that point. And last week, our defense faltered. Hopefully tonight, the Falcons will be able to put both the Falcon offense and the defense together to have a good game here against the Irish. Second down and about 7 for the Falcons. Ball resting now on the 30-yard line of the Irish. Stroll is going to switch side of tight ends. Falcons are going to have all their power to the right side of the field. Starry has the carry. He's going to get close to first down yards in that play.
And again, that was a quite successful play last week, Kevin. You know, we flexing that tight end again and running to the strong side of the field. And even against a team, you know, like Massillon had some pretty big or pretty sizable people up front there. We were able to open up some nice holes. And of course, if Ursuline doesn't do the job in that off-tackle hole tonight, they're going to have their hands full too.
Probably be important to mention that the Falcons are going against a undefeated Ursuline Irish tonight. They're 5-0, having a big win several weeks ago against Cincinnati Moore, state perennial champions here down at YSU Stambaugh Stadium. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1. Fletcher's going to hand off to Starry, and he's going to have the first down. And he's going to pick up about 4 there.
And again, a good sign, Kevin. You know, we're establishing that off-tackle hole, and if you can do that, you know, usually you're going to have quite a bit of success offensively.
I don't think the Falcons' 2-3 record really represents how good of a team the Falcons do have this year. They had some tough losses, 1-3-0 to Menor, and that really hard-fought loss to Mooney. So the Falcons probably will make a good showing here tonight against Ursuline, and I don't think that many people around town are giving the Falcons that good of a chance against the Irish tonight, but I definitely think the Falcons do have that good chance. Turner's in motion, and Motter has a nice hole, and he's going to be inside the 10-yard line, falling down near the 6-yard line.
And this is what we've got to do against a football team like Ursuline, too, Kevin, that has some, the explosiveness that they do offensively. You can keep the football away from them, and we have been known to do that, establish some long drives. This is going to help our defense a little bit.
The ball is resting on the 6-yard line. I think there's an official timeout on the field there. No, the ball is resting on the 11-yard line now. I guess Keith Mother's knee touched far before I thought.
And, of course, Kevin, we're back in that situation again. I hope we pick up about 4 or 5 yards here because we always hate to start from, just inside the 10-yard line. And it seems like, it's probably the most difficult place on the football field to score from. So let's hope that we either score here or get it somewhere down around the 5-yard line here.
Falcons against Mooney, as you said, John, had both of their prime scoring opportunities. They started from the 10-yard line, making it that much more difficult to get in the 4 plays. And speaking of Mooney in the Steel Valley, that was the Falcons' first Steel Valley contest against Mooney, which they dropped earlier in the season. And this is Ursuline's first Steel Valley contest of the season against the Falcons. It's going to be the counter reverse to Turner. And this is productive as it always is. It gets us down to about the half-yard line, almost in for another score for Rich Turner on that wingback counter trap.
And that's probably the first time I've seen, Dave call that particular play this deep in somebody's territory. We normally like to go right at them, and sometimes it gets a little bit risky down in there, with more than one handoff. But, of course, we did execute that play quite well, as we always do.
I think there's a play that's evolved over time. In the past, it was so-called a trick play, probably, with the double handoff, but now it's definitely a forceful part of the Falcon offense. We use it frequently. And Starry's over the top and into the end zone. So the Falcons, with 6:40 remaining in the first quarter, score quickly.
And what we've done here, and what you have to do, Kevin, to be successful offensively, is control the line of scrimmage here. We just, Ursuline, I don't think, on any one particular play in that drive, really shut us down. We were able to, pick up at least 3 and 4 yards of crack there, and that's a good sign.
I think this is
early in the ball game.
I think this is the best I've seen the Falcon offense do all year long. Not only are they executing well, like you said, but the excitement's there. The Falcons really are into this ball game. Jeff Wilkins is going to kick now. And his PAT is good. It's going to give the Falcons a 7-0 lead here with 6:40 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, the point you made, too, Kevin, the fact that, we are 2-3 and they are 5-0, and, we are supposedly the underdog. And I think that always gives you, somewhat of an advantage in a big game like this. The idea presents more of a challenge, to maybe inflict the first loss on somebody.
Also, I think the Falcons now definitely are playing for pride in the Steel Valley. They lost to Mooney, and they definitely don't want to lose again to any Steel Valley team. They still realistically do have a chance to win the Steel Valley Conference.
Yeah, because tomorrow night Mooney and Boardman do play, and of course I think I know I'm going to be on hand for that one, and that should be another great football game. And of course, right now probably we're going to have to root for maybe Boardman. From that standpoint, the fact that we have to have somebody knock off the Cardinal Mooney Cardinals, but I know I'm going to be here because it's going to be it should be a whale of a football game.
If that does happen and Mooney does lose tomorrow night against Boardman and we defeat Ursuline tonight, that'll bring up an interesting contest, the last game of the season for the Falcons when Boardman travels to Austintown. That will be sort of the Steel Valley title game if that situation does exist. But right now we're concerned with the game going on right in front of us. Number 8, Larry Bucciarelli, is going to do the kicking off here for the Falcons.
And of course we've got to get good coverage from our specialty teams because they got some people back that can take it all the way on us.
Kick travels to about the 6-yard line, and he's going to go up to the sidelines and out around the 24-yard line. So Mooney will start once again deep in their own, Ursuline, will start once again deep in their own territory.
And we got Mooney on the mind here. We got a few of their assistant coaches here that we were just talking with. Kevin sitting behind us, so. So things are going quite well for us there. You know, we scored, you know, get a nice drive going, and we kick off, and of course they've got poor field position now, and we can again stop them here. You know, we can establish or set up good field position for ourselves again.
The handoff's going to be up the middle, and Lynch is going to break free for a good 9 yards on that carry.
And again, Kevin, we've got people there, but we're just, it seems like we're reaching and grabbing instead of, you know, people maybe just running through some people, being maybe a little bit more aggressive. And if we do that too often tonight, you know, Mr. Lynch is going to break one or two on us, and I hope that doesn't happen.
Lynch has been the most productive offensive threat so far this year, and like you said, he probably will be tonight their biggest threat against the Falcons. Man in motion for the Irish, and it's going to be the dive option, and the fullback gets the dive, and he's going to get the first down. Ball's going to be out to around the 35-yard line.
I'm kind of anxious to see, you know, their quarterback put the ball up because statistic-wise, I know he's been quite accurate, Kevin, and we'll probably find out here rather quickly if we can get him in an obvious passing situation, especially, you know, where they're going to throw the ball. He's up there around 65-70%, I think, accuracy.
That's number 15 at the helm for the Irish, Dave Kovacs. Takes a first down and 10 situation, and Lynch gets 4 yards on that play. It's getting scary right there on that play. Lynch is being able just to get through the line of scrimmage, and there doesn't seem to be many people to stop him. Luckily, somebody tripped him up there for the Falcons.
Yeah, I guess he's the type of back, you know, with a great quickness. I don't think he has a lot of power. You know, he's not going to run through a lot of tackles, but you just get him that little seam here or there, and, you know, that's all he needs to break one.
Second down and 6. Ball on the 34-yard line. Still in the Irish's own territory. It's going to be the pitch. And they do get a nice... And the ball hits the ground, and the referee marks the ball as being down, so no fumble recovery for the Falcons. And instead, a good gain for the Irish. Pick up about 10 on the play. Good enough for a first down.
Well, the outside linebacker did a nice job. Matter of fact, he may have gotten too much penetration. You know, he may turn it up inside, but we didn't get our pursuit there, and of course they picked up a nice gain.
That'll bring them right near Falcon territory. Kovacs, number 15, the quarterback. Pitch is going to be the Lynch in the same exact play.
And the same play that Massillon had a lot of success with us last week. You know, they're just telling you right now who's got the football. They just pitched a little pitch sweep and get a lot of people out in front of them, and quite successful.
Irish are using those two pulling guards with also the up back coming at that short side of the field. So that makes us unbalanced because we only have the cornerback over there on that side of the field, and not usually the strong safety and the halfback, which play the wide side of the field for the Falcons' 50 defense. It's about second down and 3 now for the Irish. There's a timeout on the field, an equipment timeout.
And already we're seeing a similar type game we've seen last week, Kevin. A lot of offense and nobody really playing, you know, real strong or good defense yet anyways. But again, two good football teams and two teams that, you know, have offenses that are capable of putting a lot of points up on the board.
Falcons having their second highest offensive total last week of 29 points. The week before against Glenville, they were able to produce 47 in a rout of the Tar Blooders from Cleveland. The dive quickly up the middle.
Let's try and see who's making it. Again, Kevin, we're having a difficult time trying to distinguish numbers here. Again, you know, especially from this far up, this high up, and we'll try and get as many people as we can.
Number 80, Dawn Hauser, our standout inside linebacker, was in on that stop. But it's going to bring about third down and short. Falcons are going to put 6 defensive linemen down. And Lynch is able to get the first down nonetheless. It's going to gain about 4.
And as we did on our drive, you know, the Irish are controlling the line of scrimmage there. You know, they're getting a pretty good movement up front, and especially first down, you know, they're picking up that 3 and 4 yards, which you know, makes play calling a little bit easier. You know, we have yet to stuff them, and of course, neither team has incurred a penalty yet, which usually sometimes, you know, puts a damper on somebody's offense.
We're seeing, like in our last Steel Valley Conference, a fast-moving game so far. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Clinton Lynch is going to be the ball carrier, and Eric McMahon stops him at the line of scrimmage quickly. A good play by the senior outside linebacker.
And, of course, obviously a little better defense there. We got some people there and didn't give much running room. You do that regardless of how good a running back might be, Kevin. They have a difficult time running through two or three white jerseys as we had there.
Going to bring up a second down and 10, or second down and 9. Just pick up about 1 on that play. Irish going to come out with their wingback and their split end to this side of the field. Clinton Lynch gets the carry again, and he has some open room. He's going to get close to first down yardage, maybe even past the first down. He has to think he's got the first down and pick up of about 10. Ball now resting on the Falcons' 25-yard line.
We've been able to stop the fullback when, you know, they've come right at us with him, but when they run the isolation type play, you know, we're having a difficult time stopping Mr. Lynch, and of course we're going to have to make some kind of an adjustment here real quick, or we're going to find him in the end zone here.
They're inside Falcon territory, ball resting on the 25-yard line. Kovacs, the Irish quarterback. The handoff's going to be to Lynch again. He's going to be mauled under after about a pickup of 2 by several Falcons. Turner in there, Hauser in on that stop, and number 25, 25 Bill Davis in on that stop. Also number 73, Rich the Chalk. Second down and 8.
And a little better job there on first down now. We put them in a second and long situation instead of second and 5 or 6, and we may see them put the football up now, Kev.
So far, mostly it's been Clinton Lynch left, or Clinton Lynch, excuse me, get the pronunciation right. It's going to be right, and this time he's going to be to the left, and he's going to be to the left for a good 11-yard gain down to the 11-yard line.
And as we said earlier, you know, it doesn't take much, you know, he doesn't have that, they have to have that much running room to break one in there. It looked like he had just a small seam there that he got through. We had people there, but he is awfully quick, and of course, we're having problems now because our secondary is making a lot of our tackles.
They've been most effective so far, the Irish, in pitching the ball to Lynch instead of handing off to him. When they hand off to the outside, the Falcon defense is able to handle that a lot better than they are when they pitch to him. And I see probably that sweep again, maybe to the right side of the field, but no, to the left. And it's the sweep, and this time it's stopped quickly. In the backfield was number 22, Scott Lawrence.
And of course, things now should get a little bit tighter down there. Now we're down inside or around the 10-yard line, Kevin, not quite inside it yet. And usually we're a bit stronger down there.
Rob Tofill was the Falcon who made the stop in that play. I think it was a good overall defensive player. Outside linebacker was able to string out that play and do his job, and Rob Tofill, the strong safety, came up and made a good hit. The Irish call the timeout. They're going to consider what they're going to do right now with the ball resting on the 11-yard line. First down being on the 1-yard line and giving them 10 yards into the end zone.
So up to this point, Kevin, you know, Mr. Lynch hasn't disappointed us. You know, all the press clippings and the talk we've heard from people about, you know, what a great back he is. You know, he's had some nice runs here, and of course, we better start getting a few more people to him because he doesn't seem like, you know, that he's going to be brought down by just one individual.
It appears Clinton Lynch is not so much a juking running back, but more of a speedster running back. He gets that speed, and he accelerates out of that backfield, and it's hard to stop him, as the Falcons have seen so far tonight.
And I think just looking at our defense, that's one adjustment I think we've made for this game. You know, we haven't been getting a lot of penetration with our outside people, but I think that's what we're trying to prevent is, you know, letting Clinton get out there in that open field, you know, where he probably can put some moves on some people. But as you pointed out, he has done an excellent job inside. You know, he's just so quick. He gets to that hole in a hurry, and probably sometimes our linebackers just maybe aren't getting there quite quick enough.
I think our linebackers, all their defense is based on getting reads from the offense, and with that speed, like you said, of Clinton Lynch's, it's probably hard to get those reads fast enough before you know it. Clinton Lynch, I'm going to have trouble with that name all night, is going to be right in your face. Second down, ball near the 10-yard line, between the 10 and 11 of the Falcons, and there he goes again, Mr. Lynch. And his speed and his power takes him down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah, again, I think we're accomplishing what we wanted to when we come into the football game. That was to keep him inside. But what's happening is that our defensive tackle and probably front side linebackers just aren't getting to the football the way they should. And again, maybe we can just keep an eye on some of those people. We'll see what's happening in there because Ursuline's doing a nice job in that off tackle hole.
Well, as we spoke, the first quarter has ended here at YSU Stambaugh Stadium, with the Falcons still ahead of the Ursuline Irish with a score of 7-0, but the Irish now on the Falcons' 2-yard line in scoring position.
And again, the first quarter has gone by the wayside already, Kevin. We've had, no penalties, that I can recall anyways, and two teams keeping the football primarily on the ground, and before you know it, you look up and, the quarter's gone, and this is what happens, too. That's, you get into the fourth quarter. And again, when you've got to stop one of these teams, it's difficult sometimes because they do have that, they run that ball control type offense, and before you know it, they've eaten the clock up on a drive, and makes it difficult sometimes to get back in a football game.
It took us 2 minutes to get on the air, me and you there, and now the quarter's over. It doesn't even seem like we've been on that long.
Well, of course, we don't have Randy here again. And, when Randy's here, we usually go on about 6:15, so.
Randy would have been upset if we would have had audio troubles. We can't help but make those little glib remarks about Randy.
Wherever you are, Randy.
The Falcons will probably go to a goal line defense here, bring an extra defensive lineman onto the line of scrimmage.
And we must point out, too, the fact that Ursuline still can, I think, pick up a first down, Kev, without scoring. So, again, obviously they're in 4-down territory, so they have two downs to pick up 1 yard.
About 1.5 to that first down marker, and it doesn't matter because Lynch is into the end zone for the Irish's first score of the evening. It's going to give them 6 points with only 11:57. With 11:57 still remaining in the second period. It only took them 3 seconds into that second period to make that score.
And the way we're going, it looks like one of those ball games where whoever has the ball last might win the football game, Kevin, because neither team really has done much of a job as far as stopping the other.
It's been a smooth offensive series for both the Falcons and the Irish. And the Irish didn't put the ball up in the air any on that drive. It was all Mr. Lynch and some running by the other Irish backs, but the ball never went up into the air. Irish never had to. That's going to tie the score with that kick, 7-7 with 11:57 remaining here in the first half.
And both teams very impressive, especially with their ground game. You pointed out the fact that they didn't have to throw the ball, and of course, I think last week that got us in a little bit of trouble off the bat there, because something we normally don't do, Kevin. We went with a play-action pass early in the ball game when we had been moving the ball quite successfully on the ground and had it intercepted and, kind of changed things around a little bit. But, of course, last week, the secondary was coming up making tackles on our running backs, and I'm sure the coaching staff noticed that, and they thought, it was an opportune time to, maybe, the element of surprise and put the ball up and, maybe get a quick score, but it didn't work that way. But I'm sure tonight, these teams, if they keep going the way they are, we might not see the ball thrown too often.
Right now, number 1 for the Irish, Ricky Markell, is set to kick off. Deep to receive for the Falcons will be Starry, Wesson, and Fletcher, all back deep for the Falcons, with Starry positioned in the middle, standing on about his 10-yard line.
And this is part of the offense that we were quite successful with last week. We just were fantastic as far as running back kickoffs and punts.
Markell is going to have a short squib kick, and we're going to get good field position again on this second series of the evening for the Falcons. We're going to start this drive on our own 34-yard line, and 33-yard line.
Massillon tried to do last week was just they had a fantastic kicker, a kid with a real strong leg, and we started, I think we fielded all of their kickoffs somewhere inside the 5-yard line, but what it did do was give us an opportunity, I think, Kevin, to set up, our blocking on the kickoff return, and boy, we had some nice blocks and opened up some nice lanes, and I don't recall how much yardage we picked up. It was quite a bit.
The Falcons now are going to use a lot of switching in their offense. Going to rearrange it a bit. Fletcher's going to hand off to Starry after all of that, and Starry's going to get some room around the outside. He had made a nice move. He cut inside but bounced outside. It's going to get him 7 yards on the play.
And that's probably why we've seen Ursuline squib the ball. And again, normally when you squib the ball, it kind of destroys a lot of that timing. And It obviously did on that one because Mike just, by the time he picked up the ball, everything looked somewhat disorganized.
Falcons really haven't had the big play on any of their special teams this year, and if it's true, like you said last week, they had good kick returns, and it's good to see the Falcons special teams getting into sync here tonight. Or last week, and hopefully again tonight, as they have so far. Turner's going to be in motion, and Fletcher's going to roll out for his first pass of the evening, and Eric McMahon's just not fast enough to haul that one in.
Yeah, we really don't have a lot of quickness, okay, even in the wide receiver position, Kevin. That's probably why you don't see us throw deep that often, and even there we try to go to our tight end, and of course Derek just let him a little bit too much, and I think really was a wise decision because he wasn't open, and if he'd maybe underthrown that, it could have been intercepted.
There was good coverage by the Irish, and like you said, it was good that even if the ball would have been thrown closer to Eric McMahon, it probably wouldn't have been a completion with that good coverage. It's going to bring up second down, no third down in about 6. We're going to be Starry on a counter, and he's with a second effort. He's going to get the first down. Good running by Starry. He's going to pick up about 8 on that play. He was stopped initially before the first down marker, but got with second effort the first down.
And Mike started doing a little bit more of that last week. Kevin is, trying to spin out of tackles. He was doing a little bit of stopping and trying to, make cuts instead of just maybe giving him a leg and then trying to spin out of a tackle. And he was quite successful with it last week. And there, of course, picked up a big first down with the same type of move this week.
Ball resting on the Falcons' 41-yard line. Starry, Motter in the backfield. Yeah. And it's going to be illegal motion against the Falcons. One of the tackles moved before the rest of the team did.
Yeah, we've seen that several times. Yeah, I thought we were going to get a flag or two there because it seems like some of our down linemen there are moving it on different counts. And, of course, obviously it must have been all right because we haven't seen any penalty flags. That one there was quite obvious because the down lineman on the upper part of the field, the far side of the field there, did move. And, of course, I think everybody's seen that.
Down lineman always trying to get a head start there. Get a jump on their blocks. It's going to bring up now a first down and 15. McMahon's going to switch to this side. And Motter has a big opening. And he's able to pick up about 16 on the carry. No, more than that. Try about 21 yards. And too bad Keith Motter didn't have just a little more explosion of speed there. I thought he had a lot of AstroTurf in front of him, maybe even the end zone.
Yeah, I thought he was going to break that, Kevin, and of course I'm glad I kept my mouth shut. I was just about ready to say that, the one thing that could put a crimp in our offense, or even in Ursulin's, is that penalty. We went from a first and 10 to first and 15, and when you're basically running the football, okay, you've got to pick up 6 and 7 yards of crack on the ground, which sometimes is difficult, but then of course they proved me wrong again.
The power of the Falcon offense on the wide side of the field, or short side of the field, and Starry's going to follow it. That was Starry on the carry, and he's going to have about 6, maybe only 5. Falcons using that unbalanced line a lot tonight, putting both the wingback, split end, and tight end all on the same side of the field.
And the defense sometimes, it causes some problems, some confusion as to whether or not they should adjust, and then sometimes they'll come out and even line up, okay, in that unbalanced line, and sometimes the defense doesn't recognize it. Maybe you get some better angles on people.
It's going to bring up second down 5. Fletcher's going to keep it, and he's going to have close enough for the first down. He's going to be stopped about 3 yards short. I was being a little premature there. I thought Derek Fletcher, well, as we say, it's always easier up here. I thought he saw that little space open on the outside that he cut back inside.
Yeah, I seen the same thing you did, Kevin. I thought if he had maybe made a little inside move and went outside there, he maybe had more sideline to run there, but he, of course, chose to go inside, and this is probably the best angle on the field, because everything up here, you can see how things open up, and a little bit tougher down there though when you're playing the game down there on the football field.
Things are a lot faster moving down there.
For me, anyway.
Motter's going to be the lone person in the backfield. Turner's going to be in motion. Motter's going to get the call. And that was Kowalczyk instead of Motter at the fullback. And he's going to be close to the first down. Hard to tell right now. And the referees signal it. It's going to give them the first down. Ball resting now on the Irish's 26-yard line.
And we were in 4-down territory, so, Kev, if we didn't pick it up there, obviously we're going to go for it again. We needed a yard, and we had 2 plays to pick that up. It was nice to pick it up on the first try, though.
So far, it's been a flip-flop offensive game. Each team's had the ball, and all they've done is drive to the opposite end zone. Starr's going to get the call, but he's going to be stopped quick in the backfield. The Irish had some kind of stun on there because they had that side of the line all in the backfield before he even touched the ball from quarterback Derek Fletcher.
That's something they've done in past years to stop us. They've always been able to get a lot of penetration, which usually, is a good way of stopping our offense. But tonight they haven't had much of that penetration, and we've been able to, again, get a lot of movement up front and control the line of scrimmage. And that's the first time defensively I think they've been able to do that.
Loss of 4 in the play. Bring up 2nd down and 14. Turner in motion. Handoff's going to be Starry in the counter. Pick up about 6. Still going to be a 3rd and long situation for the Falcons.
And probably the first real predicament that we've been in. You know, we've both teams have, I don't think, have yet been in a situation, where it was an almost obvious passing situation, but now we're down, about 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 on about the 22. So, I don't know, it's a chance again to do some coaching, I guess. I kind of think we'll probably maybe go with the quarterback again on the, the boot. With the option again to run or pass, Kev. We'll see what happens.
The Irish take their 2nd timeout of this half, and since we do have a timeout on the field and the offense is out there right now, I'll read them off for the fans out there. Starting this week, as been the past several weeks, or most of the weeks, the same Falcon offense has been there with very few changes. At centers, number 60, senior John Dorenzo. At the guards are number 50, Devin Fitzpatrick, a senior, and his fellow senior Dan Black, number 66, at the other guard. At the tackles for the Falcon offense, number 76, Tom Bartby, a senior, and number 77, Damian Billack. Rounding out the offensive line for the Falcons will be tight end number 86, Ron Stroll, a senior, and you also see number 84, Eric McMahon, in there a lot for the Falcons at tight end. At split end, alternating and bringing in the plays for the Falcons will be number 22, Rob Tofill, Jr., and number 5, Tom Vothier, a senior. In the backfield, we so far have seen Mike Starr tonight, number 21. He's a tailback, and he's been getting some good yardage on the ground for the Falcons. And next to him at fullback is Keith Motter, and at the wingback is number 1, Rich Turner. And rounding out at quarterback for the Falcon offense is number 9, Derek Fletcher, Jr., and up he comes for this critical 3rd down situation for the Falcons, 3rd down and 7. It's going to be that counter to Turner. It doesn't open up initially, and it's not open up enough for the 1st down yardage.
I think if he would have made the decision to go straight ahead, Kev, he would come close to picking up the yardage, but he started to feel and dance his way through there and gave the Irish, I think, more time to get people there. But I think Rich, if he would have went straight ahead, may have picked it up. So now we're down to, 4th and about 2?
Here comes one of those fun coaching situations. Shall we kick or shall we run? And we are still thinking, what shall we do?
And it's a difficult situation because really, offensively, we haven't really the last few plays anyways had our way, but up until this point, we've been able to pick up 3 and 4 yards with that much difficulty, but it seems like the Irish have maybe stiffened a little bit here, and it presents a problem for Coach Hartman because we do have a kicker that probably could, we're within his range, could kick a field goal from this distance.
Also, you definitely have to consider the Irish's offensive threat. With such a productive Irish offense so far, any points you get are going to be critical. A missed scoring opportunity could be the difference in the game at this point.
And again, looking up at the clock, we're already down, 6 minutes and 32 seconds here to go in the first half, Kevin, and this second quarter has gone by just about as fast as the first one did. And again, you look out there on the field and you see both teams moving the ball as well as they have, but again, there's only 2 touchdowns up there. But this is a type of offense I know that we usually have, and we usually don't come up with the big play. Every once in a while we'll break that long run, but we're always very capable of just 3 and 4 yards a crack and getting those first downs and being very consistent and very seldom making mistakes.
Decision has been made by Dave Hartman, and the Falcon offense comes out to go for a 4th down and 2 situation. Fletcher has it. He's going to keep it, and he's going to have close to the 9-yard line. Well, he's going to end up.
That was one play off, I guess. Yeah, that was what I thought maybe Dave might run, the previous play. But again, we were 3rd and 6, and they had 2 plays to pick up, 4 down territory. Had 2 plays to pick up 6 yards, and again, that play turns out to be a big part of our offense. That quarterback keep.
Good call by Dave Hartman, and also a good run by Derek Fletcher. And the ball's resting once again, John, on the 9-yard line. We always end up around the 9, 10, or 11, making it difficult to get in on those 4th down. Falcons were able to do it last time.
We'll do it again this time.
1-yard touchdown dive, and the way they've been running, they probably will. Same play as last time, but certainly not as productive. It's going to lose 2. Derek Fletcher on the quarterback keep.
And we come back with the exact same play, but this time again the Irish, I think Derek's fake this time wasn't quite as good there. It looked like he hurried that one a little bit, and I think some people stayed at home and didn't get into their pursuit angles a little bit sooner, and again the play was stuffed for about a 2-yard loss, I think.
And it's about the size of the loss, the ball resting just outside the 10-yard line. Lorenzo will be snapping to Fletcher on a 2nd down and goal to go ball on about 10.5-yard line. Starry's going to get the call on the counter, but he's not going to get very far, maybe 2. The ball's going to rest on the 8-yard line. It's 3rd down and goal with the ball on the 8-yard line.
I mean, the Irish, as we said here a minute ago, Kevin, are starting to play a little bit better defense now. We're not being able to manhandle people up front like we were. They're getting the movement that we got earlier, and now it might force us into throwing the football when we might not want to.
There's only been 1 pass by each ball club tonight, both unsuccessful. Derek Fletcher's being on the first drive of the Falcons. Motter, the lone back in the backfield, and Fletcher showing pass, and he has Rich Turner in the end zone, wide open, touchdown for the Falcons.
The thing that's causing me more trouble than anything else, I think, is probably the soccer lines down there, Kevin. I keep thinking, boy, he's only got a step there and he's out of bounds, but here he had plenty of room, and Urson, I think, probably had a mistake there in the secondary because, boy, it was wide open, and, of course, Derek found him.
Rich Turner just sitting in the back in the end zone. Same with me. I thought he was out of bounds. This line's tough down there to figure out. Soccer line's being yellow, however, and the touchdown is good because he was in bounds. 6 more for the Falcons. And that 8-yard pass completion for the touchdown. Wilkins going to try a 2nd kick the evening, and that's going to be his 2nd successful PAT of the night. And it's going to bring the score with 4:28 remaining in the first half. Austintown Fitch Falcons 14 and the Ursuline Irish 7.
We almost had a breakdown there again, with our kicking game. Last week, Massillon came through like gangbusters there, and 2 guys come through untouched and blocked an extra point. And when we got down to the end of the ball game there, almost made a difference because the game ended up on 9. If it would have been 8, okay, we would probably had a chance maybe just to score 1 time, make the 2-point conversion and tie the ball game. As it was, they forced us in a situation where we had to score twice, and I think maybe made a little bit of a difference as far as play calling going down the stretch here last week. Because I think we did end up losing by 9, right? Yes, we were discussing that on the elevator coming up. I think it was 38-29, but it should have been 38-30, which could have made a big difference there in the end of the ball game. I think it did as far as play calling and us catching up.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to make the trip to Massillon last week, but hearing about the conditions where you broadcasted from, John, I don't think there was that much of a loss.
Shaky, to say the least, as I think most people noticed at the beginning of our broadcast there, we thought maybe we were going under there, and a few words.
Pucciarelli's kick bounces down to about the 3-yard line. It's returned out to the 29-yard line, and there's a loose ball, but referee signal it's still the Irish's ball.
And I guess for us, it's a difficult call to make because sometimes, we're looking almost directly down on the football field, and we can't tell whether somebody's knees are down or whether they were down. When these loose balls occur, these fumbles occur, and evidently the official right on the call there threw the ball dead.
Certainly here at YSU, we have that trouble at Massillon. You just knew that the officials were making a bad call. going to be the dive option, and the fullback's going to get it. Only going to get about 2 on the play.
And we're down to, what, 3:59 now. They're on their own 30-yard line. So let's see if, Coach Angle decides maybe to gamble a little bit and try and get a quick score here and get back in the game before we go in at halftime, or just decides to get what he can on the ground and win down by a touchdown.
Number 42, Kowalczyk, was the player on the stop there for the Falcons after that short gain of about 2.5 for the Irish. Kovacs, number 15, at the helm for the Irish. The I formation behind them. And they're doing a little trick play, and it's all over the field, and the ball is all over the field, nowhere near an Irish receiver. I think they were trying to set up the screen to the wide side of the field, but as soon as he turned around, he saw a Falcon in his face, and Kovacs had to roll back this way.
Yeah, we got some penetration, I think, a little bit quicker than maybe they wanted to, and of course we flushed him out of the pocket, made him throw the ball as it turned out on the run, and wasn't quite as accurate as he has been anyways, Kevin, according to those statistics in the paper.
That'll bring up 3rd down and a little longer than 7 yards. Another passing down for Kovacs. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight in the passing department. He's going to try his 3rd attempt, and it's complete. Number 22 on the reception for the Irish, Tim Caffey.
And they ran from a wide slot there, or twins, Kevin, and just ran that 2-man pattern out there, and he curled it back inside and was wide open for the 1st down.
It's going to gain about 15 yards. The 1st down with 3:11 remaining in the 1st half.
And again, go ahead, Kev.
Well, I was just going to say Fletcher was on the stop for the Falcons.
Yeah, they ran a little play action there too, which froze that linebacker over there and give the the inside receiver time to curl up there and again pick up that 1st down.
The pitch is to Clinton Lynch, and he has some open territory with Mike Starry, the last man between him and the end zone, and Starry pushes him out of bounds. But there's still a 15-yard gain on that play. In the Falcon territory, ball now is going to be on the 39-yard line of the Falcons, 2:50 left.
And again, looked like we had him bottled up there, and he just managed to find a seam. He just bided his time there and bounced outside, and boy, if it wasn't for the sideline there, this ball game would have been 1 point anyways from being tied.
Hopefully the Falcons can make a good defensive stand here and get away with going into the halftime locker room with a lead. But Clinton Lynch is going to try to stop that any way he can. And, well, looks like a defensive penalty against the Falcons. A late hit, a spear, or some other form of tackling penalty. That's going to get about 20 yards on the carry, plus whatever else they give against the Falcons. That'll be another 15 yards on that carry. That puts them inside the 10-yard line.
And that could be costly, Kevin. I know even though they're on the 18, this is going to put them down inside the 10. And still have plenty of time to score. It's amazing, in high school football we always say, whenever you have less than 4 minutes, on the clock and you're deep in your own territory, it's pretty difficult sometimes to move the ball up the field that quickly. But again, the Irish have proven us wrong there. They're down inside around our 10-yard line right now, and there's still 2:43 left to go on the clock.
If the Irish can maintain this pace, the Falcons may end up getting the ball once again here in the 1st half, and may have another chance to score themselves. We'll have to see on that. Ball's going to be resting on the 9-yard line. I guess they tacked a penalty on a dead ball foul after the play, so it's going to bring up 1st down and 1.
Yeah, and I think a good call by the official there, because it looked like somewhat of a late hit, and then also pretty close to being a spear, Kevin. So pretty good call by the official.
There's a timeout on the field. Charge to the Falcons. With 2:33 remaining in the 1st half, Falcons using their 2nd timeout of the 1st half.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Kev, it's pretty exciting. We've seen a lot of offense, and this is basically what most people, I guess, want to see, the Irish fan wants to see. But of course, myself, I'm always hoping that I see one team anyways play good defense, and other than that, I don't care. But we just really surprising me because this was the strong part of our football team. The first couple ball games we had trouble moving the ball. Now we're moving the ball, and so are other people. We just haven't been able to stop people.
Also, it always seems to be surprising that no matter what each team's record is or their previous outings and how they fared in a certain year, Steel Valley Conference play is always good football. I've yet to remember many blowout games in the SVC. It's always hard-fought games, and so far Fitch had a hard-fought one against Mooney earlier in the year, and this one also is going to be just the same.
And again, I guess we shouldn't say that it's poor defense. It's just both offenses are executing well. We just get some good running backs, and people are doing the job up front. And when you do that, you're going to move the football, and it puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Too bad we couldn't have taken this offensive execution up to the lake when we played Menor the second game of the season. It would have been probably definitely a different ball game there. Right now, the Falcons are still ahead by 7. And Clinton Lynch and the rest of the Irish offense are trying to change that and doing a very good job of coming close to changing it. Pickup of about 4 on that play. Ball's going to rest on the 5-yard line with 2:28 remaining in the first half. First down for the Irish on that first down in one play or one situation they had.
And right now, Kevin, I just personally don't feel very confident as far as stopping them because they've really dominated the line of scrimmage there. We're getting moved back off the football, and when you're down in this deep in your own territory, boy, it's pretty difficult to stop any offense.
Lynch and into the end zone, or no, he stopped in the blockers into the end zone. But he's down to the 1-yard line.
I hate to sound like I'm starting to lose confidence in our football team, but I mean, just the way the complexion of the game is right now, the way the game's going, Kevin, we just really haven't stopped them, for no loss or no gain yet in the first half anyway.
Lynch is deep in the eye behind Kovacs, and he's going to get the call. And, a good defensive stand by the Falcons. Rejection for the Irish there on that play.
And, again, they proved me wrong. Again, they only needed a yard, I think, and we were able to stop them there. But, again, we've got to do that 2 more times, Kev.
Barfy, DeChalk, and Devin Fitzpatrick all in that good defensive play by the Falcons' goal line defense. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 1. Hopefully the Falcons can do that good play once again or maybe twice again. And it's up and over the top with Kovacs going on the quarterback sneak in. Good enough for the 6 points.
And something I just didn't think was going to happen, Kevin. We had them deep in their own territory with less, again, than 4 minutes to go in the half. And, boy, they just very impressive offensively. They were able to take the ball and on the ground. I think they threw the ball only one time, moved the ball 70 yards quite quickly.
Though the score after this PAT probably will be tied at 14, the motivation edge and also the enthusiasm edge will probably go for the Irish into the second half since they scored last. But well, that's good.
And again, from up here, it looked like a line drive, which it was, but must not have cleared the uprights by too much, Kevin. I thought it went below them, but of course we're Mile High Stadium compared to ours.
By the reaction within the booth around us here, it seems everybody else had the same idea. I didn't even see where the ball went. It shot off on a line drive, and it was somewhere into the Falcon band down there. But the score is going to be tied at 14 after that successful point after the touchdown.
Don't say that. Well, after the point after. We still have 55 seconds, Kev. Mike broke one last week for, 96 yards, so hopefully we can have a rerun of that.
He did. I did.
Yeah.
Was that on a kickoff return?
Yeah, kickoff return and several other returns where he was only 1 or 2 people away from breaking those. And like I said, the thing is, Ursuline is trying to squib the ball, which makes it a little bit more difficult to do something like that, to set up a blocking scheme.
Probably the coaches of the Irish watched the films of that last week and the potential threat of Starry on our kickoff return. And he's going to be back deep. Also along with him is going to be Fletcher and Chuck Weston, a sophomore. Markel's kick's going to be the other squib. It's going to go right to Starry's hands. And Starry's going to spin a couple times. He's going to get back to the 35-yard line with only 48 seconds remaining in the first half.
And I would think Dave would probably be satisfied right now to go in at halftime, tied 14-14. We only have 48 seconds to go, and the worst thing that's going to happen is a turnover in this situation now and give them this kind of field position and maybe get another one.
Rob Tofield came in with the play. We'll see what the Falcons were going to do, but like you said, John, they're probably just going to sit on the ball. Though we're always wrong usually.
We aren't right too often.
It's hard to tell. Motter's the lone back. It looks like a passing down, but he's going to get the call. He's going to make a nice, good run. It's going to get him about 6 yards. Clock's going to still run 15 seconds. This will run out the clock for the half. And the Falcons will go in tied with the Irish at 14. Well, that'll do it for the first half of play here at YSU Stanbaugh Stadium. Score at halftime is Fitch Falcons 14, Ursuline Irish also 14, a tied ball game, and also a tough, hard-fought ball game with strong offensive performances by both the Irish and the Falcons.
Yeah, and really, you can't say that, it was a poorly played half, Kevin. Both teams just, excelled offensively. Really, we didn't see, we've seen a couple long runs, I guess, by both teams. Lynch broke one or two for maybe 15 or 20 yards, and I think Mike Starry had a long run or two, but other than that, I think it was just 3 and 4 yards.
The toss is, it used to be, you flipped a coin and you won or lost, and you decided you were going to kick or receive, but now, they've made it a little bit more sophisticated, I guess, and makes it a little bit tough on us, because sometimes you look down and you see a particular team receiving or kicking, but you really don't know who actually won the toss sometimes.
I know.
So why they do that, I don't know.
I know several games this year we missed the toss, and come the second half we were in a quandary about what was going on, but we know this time that the Falcons chose to receive in this half. And I think it's because the Falcons are a second-half team, like you said, that they did choose to defer their option to the second half, giving them a chance to decide what they were going to do. And with the game tied at 14, you definitely want to go on the offense right now.
Especially the way the first half went, Kevin. The fact that neither team was able to stop the other. Things continue that way. We should be here in a few minutes, on the scoreboard again, out by a touchdown.
Back deep for the Falcons for their kickoff return is Starry, Weston, and Fletcher, and Markell's going to kick off number 1 for the Irish.
Ricky Markell will kick off for the Irish.
This is going to be the opening of the second half of play. Score tied 14-14 here at YSU Stanbaugh Stadium. Another squib kick. It's going to travel to Starr. He's going to pick it up just at the 16-yard line, and he's going to have some room here, and he's going to explode for a good return. He's going to spin all the way into Irish territory. He's going to stop at the Irish's 48-yard line, and there what we said you saw last week, John, the explosive kickoff return by Mike Starry.
And what happens, on many occasions, the return man bobbles the ball, a little bit, kicks it around a little bit, and all of a sudden people relax, and then he picks it up, and boom, before you know it, there's that seamer hole, and off he goes. And Mike, again, was only, 1 or 2 people from breaking that one, and still giving us good field position.
Going to give the Falcons a first down and 10 to open up the second half of play. At the 48-yard line, Fletcher's going to throw on the first play, and it's beyond the reach of Keith Motter, the fullback, and he's going to be hit quickly after he releases the ball.
And they're a surprising call. Again, the fact that we have, I think, moved the ball successfully on the ground. We come out and run play action. But again, an opportune time to do so.
I think the issue is really the question.
Expecting pass and maybe put the ball up.
The fact that we are in Irish territory already after that kickoff gave us the flexibility to do that, to really have that concern of being deep in your own territory and running the ball conservatively. Handoff's going to go to Starry, and he's going to have some room around the outside. Enough for 4 yards, 5 on the pickup. Ball's going to rest on the 43-yard line. Now it's going to rest on the Irish's 45-yard line. They marked them down a little shorter than I anticipated.
So again, the first critical call, anyways, of the second half. We're 3rd and 6, on their 45, Kevin. So it'll be interesting to see what we call. I got 2 plays in mind.
I have to. My 2 plays would be that either the wingback counter trap or the quarterback with Derek Fletcher.
Right.
We're starting to think alike. But both of us are wrong. We're going to run a screen, something the Falcons haven't done much this year, and there may be a reason for that. At least there's pickup of maybe one. It's going to bring up the first punting situation.
And
So-
something that we normally don't do, Kevin, and I don't know, I've always looked at that as far as our offense is concerned as maybe not a wasted play, but, we're not a drop-back passing team and don't throw the ball that often, and, to run screens sometimes, it's something we probably don't work on a lot, and, of course, there we didn't set it up real well.
Number 8, Larry Pucciarelli is going to punt for the Falcons, the first time he's punted this evening. It's going to be a low kick. It's going to be caught at the 13-yard line, and Lynch is going to get about 4 or 5 on the return. Finally stopped by number 55 for the Falcons, Rich Remius.
And not the way we want to kick the football to that young man. We want to get that ball up in the air where we can get some people down there to cover it, because if you line drive one to him and give him too much, open spaces there, and you're in for trouble.
Irish once again start deep in their own territory, the ball in their own 20-yard line, but each time they've been able to mount very long and very durable drives, 2 of the 3 going into the end zone. Lynch, and hopefully this is a sign of things to come this half. He only gets 1 yard on that carry, make it 2.
And whether there was an adjustment or not, Kevin, I don't know. But I know one thing: the linebacker was sitting there waiting for him that time. There was no, delay or he not scraping there quickly. Whether there was a read or a different key or something. But that's what we got to have, though.
Fitzpatrick in there on the stop for the Falcons. Irish had the eye with Lynch deep in the eye behind quarterback number 15, Kovacs. And Lynch has the carry. He has a little hole, but the Falcons close it up quickly. Once again, I have to say, I'm impressed with Lynch's speed. I mean, there was a little seam there, and he was able to squeak through it for at least 4.
Yeah, he gets off the ball quite quickly, and again, just looking at it, it seems like we may have cheated our linebackers a little bit more towards the off-tackle hole. They didn't really hurt us too much inside, especially with the fullback, and so maybe that might be, one of the adjustments that maybe they made defensively.
Turner and Fitzpatrick, the Falcons, on the last stop. Bring up a 3rd down and 5. Lynch has some room, but he's going to be stopped short of the first down, at least 3 yards short. Got gained less than I anticipated. Only about 3 on the carry, and I think the Irish are going to bring out their punting unit. How quickly the complexion of a ball game can change.
Yeah, and again, we said 2 good coaching staffs, and they come out and make some adjustments, and of course, that's one adjustment I guess you can always make, is just get a few more people there, Kevin, and we did that there. We had 4 or 5 people there, and anytime you can do that, you're going to stop good backs, too.
Wesson's going to return this punt. He had a good return on the first punt for the Irish, but he's not going to get far in that one, maybe 3. Falcons are going to start not in bad field position at their own 39-yard line.
At first glance there, Kevin, I thought we were going to start with the extra point try. Looked like we had the wall well set up there, but somebody just kind of leaked through there, and we didn't get as much as I thought we were going to get, because we had the whole top of the field there to run, and we never got by the initial defender.
After that tackle and the stop of Wesson after only 3 yards, it's going to bring up 1st down and 10 for the Falcons. Second offensive series of this half. And that's going to be, let's see who emerges. That's Mike Starry on that carry. He's going to get about 4.
Little inside counter again, misdirection play, and as we pointed out last week, we do have a difficult offense, Kevin, to defense, because there is a lot of motion and movement in the backfield there. We do run a lot of misdirection, and we'll come at you with traps, and then we'll run outside with the quarterback on the keep, and it sometimes puts a lot of pressure on defenses.
Motter and Starry behind Fletcher, and Motter's going to get the call. And he's driving good, close to 1st down yards. A good hit by the Irish defender. It's going to stop him right near the 49-yard line where the 1st down marker is now set. Keith Motter, according to the stats we've heard up here in the press box, had 42 yards in the first half for the Falcons. Starry had 31, so Motter getting good yardage in the first half.
And the price you got to pay, I think, Kev, you want to be a running back. They stood him up there, and he tried to get that extra yard, and, of course, somebody got a pretty good lick in on him.
despite that hard hit by the Irish, Falcons still able to get the first down, and the ball is going to be on the 49-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Falcons. That's their first down of this half. They were stopped on their initial drive of the second half. Starry, he's going to slip after he makes his cut. Going to get about 1.
And that's probably the first time, too, tonight we've seen anybody slip. You know, some nights, you know, especially in the evening here, you know, this time of the year, you know, you get a little bit of a glaze on that field, Kevin, and it's difficult to make sharp cuts. And that time Mike had that problem, and I think if he was able to make that cut, he'd had a nice game.
Since we went on the air late, we never did get a chance to talk about the weather conditions tonight. It is a nice night for football, an ideal mid-October night for football. It's only about 53 degrees, not too cold. Motter's going to get the call, and he's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 situation after a gain of 3.
And we're seeing a completely different second half. In the first half, both teams were moving the ball quite easily and successfully against each other, and now here in the second half, seeing a lot of 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 situations, which we didn't see too many of in the first half.
Every yard seems to be that toughest yard. Complexion certainly has switched. Did a 180 on us. Turner on the counter trap. And that was probably the sloppiest counter trap for the wingback that I've seen the Falcons run all year.
And we may have developed some kind of a tendency too, Kevin, because we do run it so often, and again, it is a pretty good 3rd and long situation for us, you know, a successful play, so maybe the Irish were looking for it.
Pucciarelli's going to be out once again. Quickly to have another punt this evening after never punting the ball in the first half. Falcons on their first 2 series in the second half are going to punt twice, and this is the second one. Another low line drive kick. It's going to bounce in between Clinton Lynch and the other Irish receiver and into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Irish are going to start on their own 20-yard line. Just as the first half was fast, this quarter's going fast, but in a different manner. It's 4:38 remaining, except that the ball just keeps going back and forth, not very much passing and no penalties.
Yeah, complete turnaround, Kevin, up to this point. You know, that nobody's been able to muster any kind of offense here in the second half, and the defenses have taken over, so who knows what's going to happen now.
1st down and 10 from the Irish's own 20-yard line. Lynch, oh, he's almost brought down in the backfield by number 73, DeChalk, but he is able to get outside and pick up about 5. Make that 6 on the play, 2nd down and 4.
Again, good defense from the standpoint that, you know, we got people there. You know, we did what we wanted to do, but again, you know, we didn't execute quite as well as we'd like to there. We had people there and just couldn't hang on, couldn't wrap.
Yeah, the techniques being shown by the Falcons and the adjustments they made at halftime probably, and like you said, just to have to execute better on our tackles.
Who is that, Kevin?
I think as well as my eyes can see from this distance, it's number 23 for the Irish, Clinton Lynch. They're powerful and very fast and very productive offensive tailback.
I don't think we have the comment on that, Kevin, of Viesert. Yeah, that puts a big hurting on the Irish offense.
Doesn't look too serious. It's hard to tell as the trainer for the Irish takes a look at him. Let's set up the defense that's now on the field for the Falcons. At nose tackle for the Falcons will be number 25, Bill Davis, a senior. He's out there. And the tackles and alongside Davidson at T&T combination for the Falcons 50 defense are number 73, Rich DeChalk, and number 79, John Polish. Also, you'll be seeing at that tackle position is, I lost him. We've seen him out there tonight. I can't even remember who I was thinking of. There
and
you
who
go.
might that be, Kevin?
Oh, well, I'll remember eventually. Let's go on. The outside linebackers for the Falcons, Eric McMahon and Ron Strollo. Also, both of them play tight end for the Falcons on offense. Linebackers, Don Hauser and Devin Fitzpatrick. Also, you'll see out there tonight, number 42, John Kowalczyk at the inside linebacking position. Wrapping up the secondary for the Falcons out there right now, strong safety, number 28, Scott Lawrence, halfback number 9, Derek Fletcher, and cornerback number 1, Rich Turner. And finally, at free safety, number 21, Mike Starry. We'll see a lot of other Falcons in there tonight getting playing time. They do a lot of alteration in both their offense and defense. That's just what I have here, and I hope it didn't exclude anyone. that play's good enough for the first down, and we'll see all of the Falcon defense for another series of downs for the Irish.
And there's a guy we're going to see probably for quite some time, Kevin, in the future. That Diallo Anderson is only a freshman, a kid from the west side. And I think as Clinton Lynch back in there, it looked like he walked off under his own power, and I don't think he suffered any serious injury.
I remember now, number 78, Dave Cooper, also in there a lot at a tackle position for the Falcons. I knew it'd come back to me. That was a quick pitch to Anderson, I think, for the Irish.
And it did look like he fumbled the ball from up here, but evidently didn't.
Number 20, Yellow Anderson, the ball carrier in that play for the Irish.
And looking down on the sideline, they're rubbing Lynch's calf, and so maybe he just had a cramp or maybe a little Charlie horse, and he's still staying on the sideline, though, so maybe it is a little bit more serious than we thought it might be.
We're going to bring up I can't see the marker on the sideline. Let's look at the scoreboard. 2nd down and 8. It's going to be a pass. Kovacs to number 22, and a missed tackle there by Rich Turner. And number 22 for the Irish, Tim Caffey, a second reception of the evening, and he's able to get all the way out to the midfield. 17-yard pickup on that reception for the Irish.
Again, they ran the same type of pattern they ran earlier in the first half. They just had a little play action there with the fullback and had the wide receiver curl up, and you hold that linebacker up inside, and that gives that quarterback a chance to throw the ball over him and again complete the pass.
That hook pattern is usually effective against a zone defense like the Falcons. The receiver able to hook into the middle of the zone, and here goes the option. The first time we saw it this evening, and as I was talking to you earlier, John, I thought that we'd see the option a little more by the Irish.
Yeah, again, it surprises me a little bit because they've been so successful with other types of plays, and then they come out and do something different. But of course, we talked about this, Ursuline. This has always been a big part of their offense. They do like to run the option a lot, and so we were just, it was just a matter of time, I guess, before we seen them run it.
Well, Ron Strollo told us what he thought of the option. He tackled Kovacs for a loss of 2.5 on that.
This time that the defensive back would come up inside, maybe they'd catch that back, on a little swing pass, and maybe be able to run him down the sideline.
Well, the Falcons made a lot of defensive changes. They're doing a lot of defense changes. They brought in 4 players for this play and took another 4 out. I think they're doing a lot of alternation, keep a lot of people fresh out there.
And we see Clinton Lynch back in there too, I believe, 23.
Well, it's going to bring up 3rd down and very long. If we've been having audio difficulties, we apologize. Me and John, we really don't know. We're just talking on, so you probably haven't heard half of what we've said so far. I formation, Lynch back in the ball game, and it's going to be a draw to Lynch. Good pickup of about 8 on the play, but not good enough to make up the deficit incurred by that last penalty by the Irish. So it's going to bring up a punting situation, and the Irish's series on offense is stopped by the Falcons, and a penalty. And that's a low spiraling punt. Weston's going to go back to the 5-yard line. And he has some open territory now. There's one man between him, number 51, and he knocks him out of bounds.
Well, Kevin, I tell you, you almost broke that one, and I'm over here shaking my head because he fielded that punt running, towards the end zone inside the 10-yard line. And normally, you don't want them to field or catch the ball when you get down because, in this field in particular, that ball bounced in the end zone. But again, Prove me wrong.
He turned what appeared to be a bad decision into a heck of a play.
And really, he just about ran by the punter, Eric Ungaro. There is the last man to have a shot at him, and boy, I tell you, it was awfully close.
He just about 40 yards on that return for Chuck Wesson, the sophomore. Shown good promise on those punt returns. Sure we'll see a lot of Chuck Wesson in the next 2 years. Derek Fletcher on that quarterback keep, and the ball is coughed up, and Irish recover quickly at midfield. I was scared there. He was spinning around, and he had that ball way out in his arms, swinging like the old loaf of bread.
Yeah, and the Irish have been doing a lot of that, especially in the first half, Kevin. They just, one guy, trying to make the stick, and somebody else coming in and grabbing at that football, grabbing arms and what have you. And this time it proved successful for him. Derek coughed up the football.
This has been such a turnaround in the second half. In the first half, we saw excellent offensive execution by the Irish and the Falcons, and no mistakes whatsoever. There was no turnovers in the first half. In fact, there was no fumbles whatsoever, the ball always being down. So there really was no fumbles, lost or recovered, or any interceptions for that matter. But now we're seeing a different ball game, a defensive struggle here in the second half, and right there the first mistake. Unfortunately, this mistake was by the Falcons, a lost fumble.
Yeah, the first half was almost played to perfection, Kevin, but this second half we've seen penalties, we've seen fumbles, and a little more ragged than what we've seen in the first half. And of course now big break for the Irish. They got the ball at midfield, and hopefully the defense now can dig in and force them to punt the football, or maybe even turn the ball over as we did.
This is the best start for the Irish offense tonight at midfield, usually starting deep in their own territory. Lynch is going to get it. He's going to be stopped quickly. A good stop by number 22, Rob Tofill. Good wrapped-up tackle there. Excellent tackle.
And we are doing a better job, I think, of getting especially our linebackers, Kevin, to the football. They seemed like the first half maybe were a step or so behind, and he was able to get that seam. But now there's not too much running room in there now, and especially on first down here, we're holding him to 2- and 3-yard gains.
Well, with only 3 yards on that play, it's going to bring up 2nd and 7 on second down. Lynch again, same exact play, and he's going to have it this time. Good lead blocking by the Irish.
And again, what good running back will do to you. We clogged that inside up, and boy, he just gave a little inside move, and again, with his quickness, they got a decent block on our outside linebacker, and boy, just ran around him and picked up 6 or 7 yards, Kevin.
There we go again.
I don't believe that.
We're talking on, and the third quarter's over already. And after 3 periods of play here at YSU Stambaugh Stadium, the score remains Fitch Falcons 14, Ursuline Irish 14.
And again, we'll just reiterate a point we made earlier, Kevin, the fact that boy, you got to score when you have the football, because both teams again are sustaining drives and eating up a lot of that clock, and before you know it, you look up, and if you're down in the football game by a touchdown or especially more, you're in trouble. And again, the Irish, as we said, we've got to put a stop to them right now, because they have moved the ball across midfield, and they've got a 3rd and short yardage situation, and a key play for us and them at this point of the football game.
Only 12 minutes left. Doesn't give much time for either team to really get ahead in the way the game's been going right now. Coach Jack Kenny, the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, out there right now, trying to get his defense in gear to make the play here on this 3rd down and short. It'd be interesting if the Irish pick up maybe 1 or 2 yards, whether or not they go for it on 4th down. Hopefully they won't have to make a choice, and the Falcons will stop them maybe for a loss here.
I thought for a while we're in Columbus at Max and Irma's here. Kevin, we had people hollering for Irma here to get some scores, and I was going to tell them to get me a hamburger while they were at it.
3rd down and short. And Lynch was stopped initially, but he had good leg strength there, good forward momentum. It's going to push him for the 1st down.
We knew he had speed, Kevin, but again, he's been able to display the ability here now to just break some tackles, and of course, really just keeps those feet going, keeps those feet churning, and it just seems to find that daylight. And of course, there that we thought we had him stopped, and he still ends up picking up 2 or 3 yards.
Rob Tofa was on the last stop for the Falcons. Ball resting now on the 37-yard line of the Falcons. Motion in the offense, and Lynch is going to get a quick pitch, and he's just dancing all over, and it gets him another 2 or 3 yards to add to the total of 4 there for that play.
And what we could use now is a fumble or maybe even a penalty, Kevin. We got to do something here just to break the momentum. Again, they got it going again. They're down, inside our 35-yard line, and got us back on our heels.
Injury timeout on the field. Maybe the Falcons get a breather right here, regroup. Falcons, like you said, they have their back against the wall here. They had really taken command of this game, I thought, in the beginning of the first half. Their defense was doing well. Their offense still not able to be that productive as they were in the first half. Showed really good execution. The turnover that did them in, and usually it's a turnover in big plays that decide the ball game.
Yeah, that was a crucial turnover there because we had picked up about 8 or 9 yards, I think, Kevin, and it moved into their territory, but only to find out we didn't have the football. You know, they had fumbled the ball and they come up with it, and now again we got to more or less fight for our lives there.
I formation. Lynch is the deep back in it behind Kovacs, number 15, the Irish quarterback. Second down and 8, and it's some counter. Beecham is the ball carrier, and he's still struggling down to the 30-yard line for the Falcons. McMahon in on that tackle, Turner also there, and Hauser.
And we still, defensively got people there, but, he was able to spin and lunge ahead for, an extra yard or two, and we're still just not really sticking people like we should, Kevin. We're not stopping too many people right in their tracks. People are able to get that extra yard or two, and of course now we find Ursuline's in a 4-down situation. 4-down situation. It's third and about 3, so they've got, again, 2 plays to pick up 3 yards.
There's an official timeout on the field for equipment, but that's quickly over. 10:28 remaining in the ball game. 3rd and short for the Irish. Now the Irish is calling a timeout.
Well, interesting.
Something Kovacs was not unsure of. He saw in the Fitch defense, or just wasn't sure of the play. That gives the Irish 2 timeouts left in the ballgame. That was their first used in this half.
No, they're doing, I know we have some people here wondering what's going on, but they're just lining people up in the middle of the field, and then certain people are going, according to personnel. Whatever Ursuline comes out in a certain formation, or certain people go one way or the other, we're just putting certain people, to counteract that particular formation. And that's all it is. We're just sending certain people that not to a particular side of the field, but they're going more towards where, a certain personnel is on offense for the Irish. And again, the Irish must have seen something there, Kevin, because they called a timeout, and something we did must have caused some confusion. So
hopefully, when they come out for this 3rd down short situation, they'll still be confused.
Yeah, we could use some kind of a turnover again, because defensively we haven't been able to do the job. We have, I think, twice here in the second half forced them to kick, but right now they got the momentum again on their side and are moving the ball quite successfully.
I hope the Falcons can stop the Irish here. I hate to see the game decided on one turnover, one mistake by the Falcons. Falcons go with 6 down linemen, and Lynch is pounded on the line of scrimmage. Forward momentum may have got him close to the first down mark. It depends on when they mark it. It's a hard mark.
Awfully close, Kev. I think, if it's not a first down, it's probably going to be within a yard, I bet.
It's maybe even less than that. Fourth down at about a yard, a little less than a yard.
There seemed like we jumped real quickly into some kind of a goal line defense, short yardage defense, and we're successful on that down. Now, hopefully, we'll probably come out and maybe do something similar and can be as successful on this play.
A lot of big people out there for the Falcon defense. 6 down lineman again. He's got it. There is no doubt. Well, yeah, he has it. There was only 1 yard to get it, and the first down's marked after he picks up 2.
Well, we seem like we shut down the off-tackle hole, but again, Clinton Lynch being the great running back that he is, just kind of bounced it out a hole or two and found that daylight, and boy, he's got those quick feet, and he just gets there in a hurry and picked up a big first down for him.
Now the question comes in, if the Irish do score, how much time will it take them to score? There's 9 minutes, close to 9 minutes remaining in the ball game. Kovacs is going to do the draw to Lynch. He's going to hit by Don Hauser. He's going to pick up 5 yards, but Don Hauser showed him that he wasn't going to give him any more than 5.
Yeah, that was a good point, Kevin, because, we are inside the 9-minute mark now, and we keep saying this week in and week out, but, we do get behind like this, and we get, late in the ball game, and, we have, the length of the football field to go. Sometimes it creates a problem for us because we're not a big play offense.
2nd down, 6. I lost the play.
Well, the fullback just got stuffed there in the middle, Kevin, and bounced it outside. What did they pick up?
Maybe 2, possibly 3. Dave Cooper in on the stop. Bill Davis also there.
And we're 4-down territory again, so, you have to look at the fact that they have 2 plays to pick up about 1.5 yards, Kevin, and it's going to take 2 super efforts on our part to stop them.
Falcons take a while to get set up defensively. We got about 7 defensive linemen there. We're showing a little 7 defense.
And they kind of maybe crossed us up a little bit there. We've been looking for Clinton Lynch, and they haven't been running the fullback that much. And of course, they sneak him on a little short belly there real quick and picks up the first down.
And that's what they have, the first down on the 19-yard line of the Falcons. 7:48 remaining in the ball game. Mike Starry comes out of the ball game, limping a little. Doug Wilhelm replaces him at the free safety position. Falcons are going to set up their defense again. And Clinton Lynch slips as soon as he touches the ball. He's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
And that's, maybe a break for us, Kevin, because as we pointed out, we haven't had him in too many long yardage situations, so now we got him at least 2nd and 10 anyway, so might change their thinking a little bit, and maybe they'll put the ball up in the air, we can come up with an interception.
That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. That's probably the least productive play in this drive by the Irish, because they've been running very well, not gaining big yards like they did in the first half, but driving away at both the field and the clock. I formation behind Kovacs. Lynch is deep in the I. It's going to be a turnaround pop pass. And he's down to the 1-yard line. Number 22, Tim Caffey, the only receiver for the Irish tonight. That's his 3rd reception and probably his most critical. And he's down on the field, Caffey. Injury timeout.
And they haven't thrown the ball that often, Kevin, but when they have, it's been basically the same route, and they're probably reading that inside linebacker. They didn't make that fake, and they're finding that little seam in there behind the linebacker, and it's, kind of a low-risk type pass. It's only like about a 10, 12-yard curl downfield, and Mr. Kovacs has been quite accurate with it.
That's accurate enough for a good gain. I think that was a 19-yard gain, and it brings the ball down 1st and goal to go on the 1. Got to have different emotions on the play. In one aspect, you want the Falcons to stop them defensively and have them not score, but if they are going to score, you want them to score quick and have the Falcons get the ball back, and hopefully Mike Starry can repeat his success in his kickoff returns.
Yeah, because we're down, 6:42 right now, Kevin, and that's not a whole lot of time. Of course, we pointed that out earlier, and Ursuline moved the football about 70 yards in about a minute and a half.
We aren't very good with predictions.
No, but we keep trying.
Yeah, we keep trying. They're going to bring out the cart for Tim Caffey here. Looks like a leg injury. Hopefully it won't be that serious. Just taking the precaution of bringing him off the field, not trying to stress the injury anymore. It's nice to have the facilities here at YSU that take the player off the field as such. Avoid the stress of him walking off the field. Back to the action with 6:42 remaining in the 4th quarter. Score still tied 14-all. But the Irish definitely have the advantage here, being first and goal on the 1-yard line. They have the power eye with Lynch deep, and there's the quarterback sneak, and that's Kovac's second touchdown on the quarterback sneak. And that'll be good for 6 points. It's going to take the Irish ahead.
And of course, now I would think, of course, the tee is out there and the kicker's out there. They'll probably go for one. So, again, we've got 6.5 minutes here to score, and now a big decision will have to be made. Do we kick the extra point, if we do score, or do we go for the win? I think in high school football you can, and I think the kick is good, Kev.
And it is up and good.
You can go into overtime and, try your luck there, too, if you want. So this could be interesting coming down, to the last 6 minutes of the football game.
No Falcon team has ever been in overtime since they instituted the rule back in 1985. And like you said, this is definitely a situation that overtime is a good possibility. 6:31, the offense of the Falcons has yet to been able to produce any points here in the second half. But if they're going to decide to produce any points, the best time would be now.
Yeah, if we're going to get a drive going, this is a good time for it, Kevin. We haven't really done much the second half. Urson has done a decent job defensively, and of course we may have been our own worst enemy because we have fumbled the football and a penalty or two here and there. But of course, again, we go back and it all boils down, I think, to defense, because we haven't consistently been able to stop Urson, and I think second half they have done a pretty good job of shutting our offense down.
Fletcher, Starry, and Weston deep for the Falcons. Markel's going to kick off number 1 again for the Irish.
And of course the key right now is to try and get good field position, and we've done a pretty good job with that. The kick return team has gotten us out around midfield there most of the evening.
Starry can retrieve this, what probably will be a squib kick, in good time and get a good return. And this one's not going to be squibbed. It's going to go straight to Starry. And he's going to get to the 33-yard line. Not the best of returns, but good enough.
Not bad field position, though, Kevin. We've got to go, 65 yards now. We got about 6.5 minutes to do it. So we can sustain a drive here and eat up the clock and score at the same time. We could be in a pretty good situation.
Clock starts running now, close to 6 minutes remaining in the ball game. Motter's going to be the lone back behind Fletcher. Turner's going to come in motion, and Motter's going to get the call, and he has some open territory. He makes a good move, and he's going to get 10 yards on the play. Good running by Motter tonight. I've been impressed with his hard, straightforward running. He's been hard to take down this evening.
Yeah, we haven't really run him that often. The last week we utilized him quite a bit, but tonight, the few times that he has run the ball, he's been quite successful. And maybe a play here that, or an individual anyways, that's going to help us get the football in the end zone, because they have probably been keying Mike Starry, who has been our big gun so far this season, Kevin.
That's going to be a first down. That carry by Motter, good for 10 yards in the first down. Ball resting now on the 44-yard line of the Falcons. Wing tee to the short side of the field. Turner's going to change that in motion. It's going to be a counter, but no, Derek Fletcher on the keeper, and he has some AstroTurf. Nice play by Derek Fletcher, a beautiful fake.
And something I
the counter.
think we did differently there, Kevin, was the fact I don't think we pulled anybody. It's like they used to call the old naked bootleg. And I think that kind of fooled probably especially the linebackers, because they probably are keying our guards, and Derek did a nice job of faking that time, and boy, had a lot of running room.
18 yards on that pickup for Fletcher. A big play on this drive for the Falcons. And like you said, it was a good fake, and it was that blind keeper, and Fletcher did an excellent job of hiding that he had the ball, and he got a good pickup there, 18 yards. Hand off to Starry. He has some good blocking in front of him, and he's going to get 8 yards.
Well, he had two choices, Kevin. He could have gone back inside there, too, which Mike usually does, and he had a nice hole back up inside, too, if he chose to curl it back.
Good lead blocking there by number 66, Dana Black, the senior guard for the Falcons. He has a good lead block.
As we said, no better time than this to put together some offense here in the second half, and, so far, so good.
4:38 remaining in the ball game. This could be timed perfect by the Falcons. Things are looking good. Fletcher's going to roll out and throw the ball. It's going to hit Starry in the flats, and Starry's going to make a nice move, and he's going to be out of bounds just outside the 20-yard line.
I'll tell you one thing, Kevin. I'm glad I'm up here watching and doing this rather than down.
The Falcons are going to call a timeout. 2:08 remaining in the ball game, so this is it. This pretty well decided these last two plays. 21-14 in favor of the Irish. It's the first time the Irish has had the lead in the ball game all evening. Going into the fourth quarter, Falcons scored first in the first quarter. The Irish didn't retaliate the first time until the second quarter, early in the second quarter. Score was 7-7, and then Falcons scored, and the Irish retaliated once again to go into the halftime 14-all, and finally the Irish scored once more in the third quarter to bring the score to where we are, 21-14 in favor of the Irish, with 2:08 remaining in the ball game.
Yeah, so now the Monday morning quarterbacks can start guessing here, Kevin, as to what we might do, and pretty tough situation. You're down now to where you got two good football plays you have to call here in order to stay alive.
Remembering back to 1983 in this stadium with the Falcons against the Irish in the final game for the SEC Championship, all I can remember is the old Monday morning quarterback going on in my household the next day. My brother Todd playing at the time, and of course it was a field day on second guessing and whatnot. The next morning it always happens. It wasn't a happy day that day. Fletcher's going to roll out, and he's going to get about to the 8-yard line. There's good pressure by the Irish, and no open receivers for the Falcons.
And what they've chose to do, I think they've gone, looks like man in the secondary, and they're just bringing a whole bunch of people. They're not giving it time to operate back there. They just they've got some deals and blitzes on, and really we didn't have time to even pick out a receiver that time. So here we are now, 4th and 8. Whole football game rides in this one play, I think, Kev.
Falcons call another timeout. Both them and the Irish have one timeout remaining in the half. That's all academic, I think, because with 4th down and 8, 1:47 remaining, like you said, this is it. This is the big play. It's going to make or break the Falcons' chance of defeating the Irish here. It would be a big victory for the Falcons if they come out of Sandball Stadium defeating the undefeated Irish team.
So when you stop and think about it, I guess, Kev, it's almost an obvious passing situation. But then again, Ursuline might be thinking that, and we might do something different than that. Maybe, as we say, the element of surprise, you could come back with a counter. But I would think we're probably going to put the football up in the air.
At least probably roll out to the wide side of the field to give the option to Derek Fletcher whether or not to run or pass. It's going to be hard to tell. We'll know soon.
And of course, Urson, after watching films and scouting, is probably expecting something similar too, Kevin. So I would imagine defensively, there's probably one play they're going to be trying to stop, and that's, the quarterback on some kind of a play action, whether it be bootleg or some kind of a sprint out action.
The excitement's starting to build to a high peak here at Sandball Stadium as Derek Fletcher sets down the offense. Turner in motion. Fletcher's going to throw the ball. There's good pressure by the Irish. He's going to stop. He's going to throw the ball. There's a flag on the play. No, there's no flag on the play. The ball is incomplete. I don't know which Falcon receiver was there.
Well, it looked like we had a good shot at that, whether it bounced off a shoulder pad or somebody got a hand in there, but I think Starry almost came up with a big completion there, big reception.
Well, it was tough to tell what happened on that play. The end result, though, is not what the Falcons had desired. 1:37 remaining, 21-14. The Irish still have the lead by 7. There's very little from stopping them to hold off any Falcon defensive surge and run out the clock. Kovac's going to keep the ball for about 2 yards. Going to sit on it. Falcons will use their last timeout. And there it is, 1:25 remaining. Falcons use their last timeout.
And we've got, what, second and about 7 or 8, I think, Kev. So we could almost, I think, get in a situation where we might force them to punt the ball, and that would be, last this effort. We'd have to, of course, try and block the punt and hopefully keep the football in the end zone where we could fall out and recover it for a touchdown. Otherwise, if it would go out of the end zone, we'd have some problems.
The last offensive play for the Falcons, I'll have to commend Derek Fletcher for some good scrambling. He kept the play going for a long time. Sorry got open, but what happened, whether he dropped it or whether it was just a deflected pass or whatnot, we won't know.
Yeah, if Mike would have probably gone a little bit to his right, he would have even been more wide open because there was nobody on that part of, that side of the end zone. And, of course, Mike chose to just pull up there. And, of course, the ball was on the money, and if he catches it, we've got a touchdown. But whatever happened, we couldn't clearly see up here because it could have bounced off a shoulder pad or somebody could have gotten a hand in there the last second and, maybe pulled it out of there. But whatever, it was an incompleted pass.
Falcons, 1:25 remaining in the ball game. Falcons down by 7. Kovacs will probably just set on the ball here. Go right down to a knee. He does. Plows forward for maybe a yard. The clock's going to continue to run down. Falcons having no more timeouts.
And it's at, 1:15 right now, so we could almost force them into a punting situation here.
We might get the ball with 20 seconds remaining. We might be able to do whatever we can with that.
And they have been successful at getting up, kind of slowly there, and the official has just marked the ball for play, ready for play. So it's going to be close as far as the clock is concerned.
Under a minute now. It's going to be 50 seconds. And the Irish are going to go for the next play.
And the thing you have to think about, too, Kev, they might be thinking about taking a safety, too, rather than maybe punting the ball. Maybe just running out of the end zone and giving us the 2 points.
36 seconds remaining. That'll stop the clock as injury timeout. Well, there's a lot of rumbling and grumbling from the faithful Irish up here. Let's not be too quick to judge now. This player might be hurt here.
Yeah, this could be a situation. Hopefully, nobody's hurt seriously. And again, I know people are discussing whether or not somebody actually is hurt, and who knows.
32 seconds remaining. Player's still down for the Falcons.
And another situation where, you folks out there can do some coaching. Now, even though, probably majority of you are Fitz Falcon fans, but, if you were on the other side of the ledger, what would you do? You're up by 7 points. There's 32 seconds to go. Do you punt the ball and risk, the chance of having it blocked? Or, do you send your punter back, whoever it might be, and run out of the end zone and take the safety?
And you must take into account Chuck Weston's good return so far on punts. He had 2 returns for at least 40 yards tonight. So I would go with your idea of the safety. I would take the safety at this point and be able to kick the ball from your own 20-yard line instead of being kicking out of your own end zone. Falcons players up and off the field.
We'll find out in a second, Kev.
Injured player off the field, and the clock continues to run. 30 seconds remaining. The Irish are going to slowly come to the line. Yep, they'll take the 5-yard penalty. Here's a delay of game. That'll probably move them back 5 yards, and chances are they'll take the safety or punt the ball, but take the safety because there's only going to be 5 seconds remaining. And there's the penalty. Delay of game. Up flies the white flag, and in comes the punting team.
I was trying to think of the college game that was on. Was it about 2 weeks ago, Kevin, when they got put in the same situation? Or no, it was a pro game, Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, Cincinnati Bengals.
They chose to try and run the clock out, and kind of backfired on them. The 49ers, I believe, came back and scored in the last well, 10, 12 seconds, whatever it was, and won the football game.
We have 6 here with the Irish up 21-14. And they're going to run out the clock. 4, 3, 2, and that will be a safety with no time remaining in the ball game. That runs out the time. I don't know. There's
Now, here the question is, and I'm not sure, Kevin, I'm just food for thought. You know, do they have to kick the football? The clock is out now. Do they have to actually kick the ball again?
I looked at when he went out of
I'm not
bounds.
sure.
I looked at the clock and I thought there was 2 seconds remaining in the ball game.
And again, you know, does the game end on that? I guess it does.
That'll do it. That'll run out the clock, and the final score for this ball game here at YSU Stambaugh Stadium will be Ursuline defeating the Fitch Falcons by a score of 21-16. Well, the Falcons played a heck of a ball game. There's no doubt about that. They executed well offensively in the first half, and they had a hard-fought second half, and it ended certainly not the way any of us Falcon fans would have wanted.
But all in all, Kevin, you know, pretty well played football game. You know, we did see a few mistakes.